This is the Range Rover Velar Hybrid, and it's a little bit like Lewis Hamilton because it clearly feels guilty for being seen as having a massive carbon footprint, that it's trying to do its bit for the environment. Now in this video I'm going to talk you through the exterior, the interior design, the upgrades that Land Rover have made to this vehicle as part of a midlife facelift. I'm going to take it for a drive to see what it's like in hybrid form, and of course I'm going to launch it to see how quick it is from 0 to 60 miles an hour. Anyway, I'm Matt Watson and you're watching CarWow.
Buying a new car? Then head to CarWow and my team will help you find your next car at a fair price. CarWow, your one-stop car buying comparison site.
Let's start off this video by talking about the design. Now, even though this car's been updated in the past year, you wouldn't know from looking at it because it looks identical to before, which is no bad thing because it's a good looking car. This being the hybrid though has this badge here, look, P400E. They're really shouting about it. Down the side there is something different because you have a fuel filler cap on this side as well as the other side, but this one has the port for the charging. Oh yeah, more on that later. Alloy wheel sizes on this car range from 19 inches to 21s. This is a 21-inch wheel. Imagine it on 19s. It would look rubbish. Moving down the side, same sleeky coupe SUV look as before. Great looking thing this. And at the front, I can't spot the differences from the old car. Here's a picture of the previous version before the facelift. Can you spot the differences? Let me know in the comments below. Maybe there's some changes inside. Let's find out. Here on the inside, the only two obvious changes I can see are this new gear selector lever, which is nowhere near as cool as the old rotary dial that used to pop up and go away again once you finish driving. Why they get rid of that? Probably cost. You also get a new steering wheel design, which I quite like, though they've retained those annoying fiddly touch sensitive buttons which I can never seem to operate properly. Other than that, it looks very much the same, apart from some different trim colours and options that you can get on this car. Now you probably noticed the interior on this. It's got the vegan friendly interior. It's really, really nice. I love the quality of it, I like the design. Though bizarrely, the person who spec'd this car up for the Land Rover press fleet decided to go with a leather steering wheel, even though you can get a fake suede steering wheel, which would go with the vegan interior. Oh well, I do like the interior design. The Velar always looked cool and it still does. You've still got the same screen designs, but the operating systems behind them are different, so it's more connected than before, it's easier to use, but it's still not quite the best in the business. If you'd like to see which SUV I think has the best infotainment system, click on the pop-out banner up there so you can see my review of that car. The biggest change to the Range Rover Velar centre around its engines. So Land Rover got rid of the old V6 diesel and V6 petrol and replaced them with straight 6 diesel and petrol with mild hybrid technology. The big news though is this engine, because it's the plug-in hybrid. This has a 2-litre 4-cylinder turbo petrol engine mated to an electric motor, and combined you have 404 horsepower, and that drives all 4 wheels via an 8-speed automatic gearbox. Now the price for the Velar now starts from £46,000. However, the plug-in hybrid starts from £64,000. That said, you can save an average of £4,000 off a Range Rover Velar through CarWow. And if you want to make sure that you're paying a fair price for whatever car you're buying, click on the pop-out banner up there or follow the link in the description to go to CarWow. Alternatively, after this video, you can just simply Google "Help Me CarWow" and my team and I will help you choose the right car for you and get it for a fair price from one of our trusted dealers. One of the key features that you get with the plug-in hybrid version of the Velar is that you get regenerative braking. So when you lift off the accelerator and you start to brake, the first part of braking is actually done by the motor acting in reverse, and that puts energy back into the battery. But does that affect the braking? Does it make it brake quicker than it would normally otherwise? Let's do a brake test to find out. Let's see how long it takes this car to stop from 60 miles an hour. I'm going to do a full emergency stop now. You can hear the ABS working away frantically. It stopped from 60 in 38 metres. It's all right. Here in the back, there are literally no changes compared to the old Velar. So that means you've got decent knee room, headroom's all right, foot space is a little cramped. Really, if you need more space and you still want a Range Rover, you're going to need the big, bad, don't know where this is going. You need the big Range Rover. You can get a plug-in hybrid version of that. You can click on the pop-out banner up there. I'm slightly embarrassed with myself. Click on the pop-out banner up there or follow the link in the description below to go watch my review of that car. I know I've said it already, but I really, really do like this vegan interior. It's so good. Why have leather when vegan's this good? The boot capacity of the Range Rover Velar is 552 litres, which is all right. However, the plug-in hybrid has 503 litres of space. It's about 50 litres less, because obviously the batteries are underneath the boot floor, so you don't have as much underfloor storage. So where am I supposed to store all my cables, eh? Where? Are they going to go in there? I don't think so. And that brings us to 5 or 9 things about this car. You can't get the plug-in hybrid version of the Velar with luxurious air suspension like you can the other versions. Why not? This plug-in hybrid Velar is supposed to average 128 miles per gallon. That might just about be possible if you regularly plug it in and use electricity a lot of the time. You see, this car is actually averaging 31.4 mpg, so I don't think the people who've been using it have been really maximising the effect of the hybrid system. But I think that's really what happens with most people most of the time. Because of the batteries and the motor, this plug-in hybrid version of the Velar is rather heavy. Tips the scales at 2,158 kilos, which is 150 kilos more than the 3-litre straight-six turbo petrol and 280 kilos more than the 2-litre 4-cylinder without all the hybrid shenanigans. Where's the spare wheel? Don't Range Rovers normally have a spare wheel? Oh, I forgot. It's because it's the hybrid. You can't get a spare wheel with a hybrid for some reason. When you spec match this plug-in hybrid version of the Velar with the 3-litre straight-six petrol, this comes in ever so slightly more expensive, yet you get a 4-cylinder engine rather than a 6-cylinder one. But that brings me on to 5 good things about this car. Because this plug-in hybrid is rated at less than 60 grams per kilometre of carbon dioxide, it's by far and away the cheapest Velar for company car tax. This plug-in hybrid version of the Velar has a 17 kilowatt hour battery on board. Now if you charge it using a normal 7 kilowatt wall box, it's going to take you about 1 hour 40 minutes. However, it has the ability to charge using DC, and you can charge it at a rate of 32 kilowatts, so it'll be quicker. The Velar is now fitted with sound cancelling technology, like you get in headphones, so it can cancel out unwanted noises like tyre noise and wind noise. Handy when you're in this plug-in hybrid and driving it in electric power alone, because you want it as silent as possible. The satellite navigation system can direct you to electric charging points. Also, it will learn your route, and when it recognises that you're in a place that you drive often, it will shut up the voice commands so they don't annoy you by interrupting your favourite song. The Velar is now available with surround view cameras, which is handy if you're trying to squeeze it into a tight charging bay and get your charging port as close to the charger as possible. Why are my legs so long? It's now time to see what this Velar is like to drive, and let's start off by seeing what it's like at lower speeds in a town or a village. So I'm going to put it into EV mode, and now I'm just using battery power and the electric motor alone. No internal combustion engine at all. And this suits the Velar, the quiet progress, the relaxation of no internal combustion engine just like whirring away. That's nice. Another thing that's quite nice is that sometimes with hybrids, because you have regenerative effect from braking, so when you hit the brakes, the first part starts to recoup energy and put it back into the motor. The brakes can feel a little bit grubby, but these are smooth. They're easy to control. They don't feel jerky. I like that. Pleasing so far. I'm going to do a quick U-turn. Obviously the Velar isn't the most manoeuvrable car in the world because it's quite long, but it's not terrible. And you do get a decent-ish view out, though not as good as a normal Range Rover. In fact, if that's your thing, click on my pop-out banner up there to watch my full in-depth video review of the Range Rover Hybrid. You sit much higher, better view out, but this is still fine, apart from the view from the back window, a bit kind of smallish. One thing I am noticing with this car, you see, because the plug-in hybrid is heavier than the normal Velar because of the batteries and the motor, they've had to fit it with stiffer suspension to stop it leaning so much in the bends. As a result, it just doesn't go over bumps as well as the normal Velar does. It just doesn't. The ride comfort is not quite as good. It doesn't feel as expensive. That's a bit disappointing, that is. I'm now heading out on the motorway, and I want to see how long I can stay in electric only mode before that petrol engine kicks in. I have to be gentle on the throttle, try and build up my speed. Will it do 70 miles an hour in electric only mode? Building. And it looks like we're at 70. So you can cruise at 70 in electric only, and it'll do about 33 miles in electric only mode. Obviously not 70 miles an hour. But if I want to overtake suddenly, put my foot down, and there you go, the petrol engine will kick in. Tell you what, just cruising on the motorway, it's quite nice this. It's quiet, it's relaxing. That's all you need to know, really. You're probably better actually when you're on the motorway to put it into save mode, so you can save your electric power for in town. because most of the work would anyway be done by the petrol engine when you're just cruising along at high speed. To be fair, if you want to get the best economy, what you really need to do is just put it into hybrid mode, and you just let the car decide what it wants to do in terms of managing its power and whether it's going to use the petrol engine, the motor, or a mixture of the two. It'll figure it out better than you can. So I've left the motorway and I'm on a twisty road, so I'm going to put the car into sports mode. Bit of an arse, I have to look all the way down here to do it, but there we go, it's engaged now, and I didn't crash, thank God. So let's see what it's like. Well, that's interesting. When you want a sudden burst of power, if you're in normal mode for the gearbox, it does take a while for the car to pick up. The motor sets you off quickly, so you get an instant response from the motor, but then there's a pause while the gearbox kicks down, and then the engine does its thing with its turbo spoiling up, and it's not all that well joined up. Look, floor it, waiting for ages, off we go. And you put the gearbox into sports mode, so it should hold a higher gear and just be a bit more ready to respond. Yeah, it's a bit better, but it's still not seamless. It's not ideal, really. Let's check out the handling, actually, while we're at it. So the Velar is quite a nice handling SUV, really, but I do notice the added weight with this hybrid version. You really can tell that it's just a little less responsive, feels a bit more cumbersome in the bends. You notice that you are carrying a little bit more weight, and that just gives you a bit less confidence to really push it. For most people, they won't care, it'll be fine for just cruising around, but back to back the cars and you'll notice the difference, and you'll be a little bit disappointed with the hybrid's performance on a twisty road compared to the standard cars. Believe it or not, this plug-in hybrid version of the Velar is the fastest accelerating normal Velar. It's 0.1 of a second quicker than the 3-litre straight 6 P400. It's supposed to do 0 to 60 in 5.1 seconds, so let's find out with a specialist timing gear up here. Let's do it, let's launch it. Come on, let's get into sports mode. Hold on the brake, go. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? 5.2 seconds, which is exactly what the P400 petrol's supposed to do. I'm going to take that time, it's fine. Who cares about 0.1 of a second? So then, what's my final verdict on the Range Rover Velar plug-in hybrid? Should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, it all depends on your situation. If you're a company car driver, this is the Range Rover Velar to have. If you're not, it's the Range Rover Velar to avoid. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like. If you click on those windows there, you can watch some more videos. And if you click on that box there, you can go to CarWow to see how much money you can save on your next car. Thanks for watching.